Okay, today we're going to get right to it. We are talking about self-sabotage. Let me tell y'all the definition of self-sabotage according to ChatGPT. Self-sabotage refers to behaviors, thoughts, or actions that undermine or interfere with your own goals, success, or well-being. These behaviors are often unconscious and can manifest into various forms, such as procrastination, self-doubt, negative self-talk, and engaging in unhealthy habits. Overeating, over-drinking, overconsumption of drugs. I don't know, just to name a few. Self-sabotage can be driven by deep-seated fears, low self-esteem, or past experiences, and it often creates a cycle where you prevent yourself from achieving what you desire or deserve. Recognizing and addressing self-sabotaging patterns is crucial for personal growth and achieving long-term success. Wow, that was a mouthful. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into 10 self-sabotaging things that I stopped doing and that made my life so much easier when I stopped doing them, okay? Okay, number one is I stopped saying yes when I really wanted to say no. And this kind of goes with ignoring your gut feeling or ignoring your intuition. I stopped ignoring my gut feeling. I stopped ignoring my intuition. I'm a very social and extroverted person. So if I don't want to go somewhere or if I don't want to do something, it's not because I'm just an introvert or I'm just like being, it's because my social battery or just something in my body is telling me no. And I'm just not feeling it. Normally I'm up to meet new people. I'm in the mood for that. But I used to say yes all the time, knowing that I didn't really want to go, knowing that I had other obligations, but it used to just be so important for me to show up for people. And I just stopped doing that. And I've started to honor my gut feeling and honor my intuition. I say no more than I say yes now. And I am so okay with that because that's also helped me to be a person who is better with my word. I used to be a lot more flaky and it wasn't intentionally. It was just that I used to say yes when I knew I wanted to say no. Then I end up backtracking and saying no. I just start off with a no. I start off with a no, or maybe I'll let you know. I start off with an open-ended type of response. So now I am seen as a lot more reliable as well, because if I say yes, I'm coming. I don't say yes that often. So if I tell you I'm coming to something, I'm coming, point blank, period. But I am so glad that I started saying no more than I started saying yes, because no, if you don't want to go somewhere, you shouldn't. And a lot of times, y'all know that feeling when we really didn't want to go somewhere, but our friends drug us out of the house, or we end up saying yes when we really wanted to say no, and we don't even have a good time. Like, you get there and it's the worst night ever. And it's like, I should have stayed at home. And maybe it was the worst night ever because I was in a bad mood, or because it was forced, or maybe it was just a bad night, but it's just like, this could have been avoided if I just would have honored my gut feeling and my intuition, and I would have just said no. Saying yes when I wanted to say no has wasted my time in so many different scenarios. It has left me feeling like I didn't have enough time for myself. It's left me feeling undervalued and underappreciated. And it's just like, just say no. It's not even that deep. So just say no. Just say no. Number two, I stopped going places or doing things when people that I didn't like were going to be there. And I know this probably sounds like silly or petty to some people, but it's really not, because one person can literally kill your whole vibe. And honestly, this was something that was hard for me to do, because I feel like certain people will try to make you feel bad for things like that. Like, oh, it's not that deep, or, oh, whatever the case may be. But no, your feelings, your emotions towards people are very valid. And I don't want my vibe ruined. And I just feel like I don't have to be around certain people if I don't want to. I start treating myself like my child that doesn't exist, my imaginary child. If my child was to tell me they don't want to be around a certain person, even if it's a family member, if they tell me they don't want to be around somebody makes them feel uncomfortable, somebody's mean to them, I'm either going to confront that person, or we're not going to be around them, or probably both. I'm going to confront you and we're not coming. But also, I take that same approach with myself. Like, I'm not going to put myself in situations where I know I'm going to be uncomfortable, or I'm having to fight for my life, or, somebody is constantly picking at me, picking me apart. Somebody is asking me uncomfortable questions. Like, I'm not going to do it to myself. And this applies to family as well. There are some family members that, like, I have to be in the mindset to be around them. I don't care what the holiday is. If my mental is not there, I'm not coming. Point blank, period. Because I already know what time it's going to be on. And I already know I'm going to have to be the bigger person in that situation. And sometimes mentally, I'm just not there. So I just preserve myself and save myself the strife and just don't go. Number 3, I stopped dwelling on my past mistakes and my past failures. At one point in time, I would constantly replay certain situations back in my head and be disgusted with myself all over again. But I've really just stopped doing that and stopped beating myself up over things that have happened in the past. It's nothing you can do to change the past. Like, you thinking about something that you did a few years ago that was cringy, or you constantly replaying mistakes in your head that you did that you didn't like, or that were cringy, or that made you feel bad, is only resurfacing those emotions. Why are you making yourself feel bad again about something that already passed? Like, it's in the past. It's already done. It's a done deal, babes. Get over it. Like, we all do cringy things. We all make mistakes. Don't continue to punish yourself for something that happens in the past. Of course, let past mistakes help you to grow and evolve. But, like, if you're going to constantly replay a situation and get upset all over again and get mad and beat yourself up, and why didn't you? You didn't, because you didn't know no better. You did what you could at the time. Let it be that and let it go. I've had to remind myself constantly to let go of the past. It is what it is. It is what it's going to be. All we have is the present. I can't do nothing with the past. All I can do is what is right here today. Yeah, I might have made a bad mistake, or I may have made some dumb choices a few years ago. And I'm going to continue to make dumb choices. Not to that degree, but it's just like, that was then. What can I say? I can't go back and whoop her. I can't recurse somebody out. Sometimes you gotta take the L with certain things. You learn from it, you grow from it, you move forward. Like, the past is the past. We've all done cringy things. We all have things that we could, be upset about all over again. But it's just like, girl, what's the point? I'm not gonna spoil and waste today worried about what happened yesterday. Number 4, I stopped holding grudges. I just feel like in some situations and with some people just never change. And especially when it comes to family, you really cannot get rid of them. Unfortunately, it's like, I didn't choose y'all. Okay. This is what was given to me. I did not choose y'all. No shade, but some of y'all I ain't choose. Okay. If I could have chose differently, I would have, but I can't. So I got to get over it. I'm not going to continue to be angry or hurt about something that has happened a long time ago. And this goes with letting go of the past. Address it with that person. If nothing changes, either cut them off or be okay with handling them at a distance. But holding a grudge, continuing to be mad at someone for something is just like, my energy does not need to go to that. Like, I'm not wasting my breath. I'm not wasting my heart. I'm not wasting my brain. I'm not wasting my brain, my energy on that. I'm not wasting it on holding a grudge. I'm not taking actions towards holding a grudge against somebody or going out of my way to make somebody's life hell because I don't like them or whatever the case may be. Like, all of that is actually going to me and my endeavors and the things that I want to do and to accomplish. I'm not holding grudges in my heart. Number 5, I had to learn how to stop trying to do everything myself. It's impossible to do everything yourself. And in the mind of somebody who likes to do things themselves, because I'm that person, you think like, oh, they're not going to do it like me, or they can't do it as good as I can. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes they can't do it as good as you can, and they can't do it like you. But like, if you already have 30 million things on your list, then you're not going to be able to do it at all. So either it's not going to get done, or you're going to have to be okay with releasing control over that thing and letting somebody else do it. Because somebody else doing it, however they're going to do it, is going to be better than it not getting done at all. You know what I mean? Like, I had to become so okay with just like letting people help me and just, Me doing my part to the best of my ability. And then, hey, if you can do this, please do that. If you can do this, and that's what it is. I'm going to play my role. I'm going to play my part. But at the end of the day, you cannot do everything. And as soon as I stopped trying to do everything, I feel like it took a load off of my shoulders. Number 6, I stopped limiting beliefs, self-pity, self-doubt. Woe is me. I'm never gonna... Stop the self-pity, wipe your tears, wipe your eyes, and take control of your life. You have a lot more control and you have a lot more authority than you think. I know that some of us were simply dealt a pair of cards that was worse than other people's hands. Like, some of us have just been giving a bad hand at some situations, but you cannot feel bad for yourself. You cannot just sit and wallow and pity, and everything that's gone wrong in your life. I mean, you can, but that won't change your situation. So why even do it? You know what I mean? Like, feel sad. Feel free to feel sad about something for a day or two, but don't sit there and stay stuck in it. I had to stop limiting beliefs. I had to stop feeling bad for myself or feeling helpless. Allow myself to feel whatever emotions I feel. Okay, now what am I going to do about it? When you paint yourself as the victim in any situation, you're not even allowing for growth. If you're the victim, that means that you can't do nothing to change the situation. I don't believe in staying stuck or staying in situations that I can't change. So I'm not going to be the victim for too long. If I'm painting myself, even if I am the victim in a situation, I'm always going to come out on top and become the victor, because I'm not going to sit in it. I'm not going to sit in somebody doing me wrong. I'm not going to sit in the L. I'm going to feel it for the time. I might be sad. I might have to cry about it. I might be mad. I might have to, call my homegirl or call my mom and cuss about it. Okay, but I'm not going to stay there. I'm going to move forward from that and look at the situation in a way like, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I grow in this area? Okay, now we're going to make a move. Like, don't stay stuck. Number 7, I stopped prioritizing other people over myself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And this kind of goes back to the point that I made about saying no more than I say yes. But stop prioritizing everybody and everything over yourself and your goals. And I know that when you say things like that, people automatically think, oh, she's selfish, or oh, she's self-centered. But my thing is, especially when you are somebody who knows that you have a mission, you have a purpose in life, a lot of people around you, a lot of your loved ones, your family, your friends, their lives are going to be made better by you locking in and you focusing. So sometimes that means saying no. Sometimes that means that you cannot always be available. You always can't be there for everybody. And that's okay. That is okay. That's not selfish. That's all I got to say. And also, it ain't nothing wrong with being a little selfish. Of course, you don't want to completely just be this selfish person who never has time for anybody else. But when you know in your mind that you have big things and big goals to accomplish, be okay with saying no and making that the priority and everything else falling under that. Number 8, I had to stop depending on outside validation and other people to tell me what I'm worth and to tell me that I'm worthy. I had to stop depending on the guys that I was dating. I had to stop depending on social media, likes, friends, strangers that I don't even know. I had to become more confident and start validating myself and stop being so dependent on what other people say about me and knowing who I am for myself. When you base your self-worth on the validation of others, you're going to be high and low, high and low, high and low, because how people feel, what people say is always going to be fleeting, and it's going to be based off of how they feel and what they say. The way people perceive you often has a lot more to do with themselves and their view on lives and what they are seeing, their reflection, than it does with you. If you already know who you already are working on yourself, you're on the straight and narrow path. You don't need other people to validate you. You don't need other people to constantly be calling you beautiful. You don't need people to be telling you ultimately what you're doing is good. Like what you think, what you feel is enough. Whatever you feel like God has told you to do, that is enough. That's more than enough. Be okay with that. Number 9, I stopped ignoring promises that I've made to myself and goals that I set for myself, like setting aimless goals for myself, knowing that I was just going to ignore them, knowing that I was just writing something down just to write it down. I stopped doing that. We can call this ignoring goals. We can call this sitting on goals or procrastinating on them, whatever you want to call it. I stopped doing it because it was stopping me and hindering me from getting what I really wanted. Like I knew I could do certain things. I knew I could get certain things, but it's like I would ignore the work that it took to do them. Like I knew I could be more in shape, but I'm still eating junk food. I knew I could be more in shape, but I'm still going out every weekend and I'm overindulging in drinks and sugar and all these things. It's like I stopped setting these goals and ignoring the work that it took. I didn't stop setting the goals, but I stopped ignoring the work that it took to achieve the goals. And last but not least, I stopped being a perfectionist and picking myself apart, picking every little thing I did apart. Honestly, perfectionism has no place in productivity because you cannot be productive. You cannot be as productive as you should be being. You cannot create and take action as often as you should if you're also a perfectionist. Like the people who get the most done are not super nitpicky perfectionists, because a lot of times perfectionism just turns into procrastination and it turns into you beating yourself up about something you didn't do. Stop the perfectionism. Just do the thing. Do it scared. Do it as a rough draft. Do it when you don't really know. But just do the things. You've been sitting on this idea for a whole year. Just do it. You've been saying you're going to start posting your content for a whole year. Do it. You've been saying you want to get in shape for the past 10 years. Do it. Go on a walk. Do something. Stop picking yourself apart. Stop looking in the mirror and saying, I don't like this, and do something. Take action. Perfectionism is literally stillness. It's literally staying in your head and thinking of all of these pieces, missing pieces, and I could do this and I shoulda, woulda, did this, and I gotta wait till this. The way to break the perfectionism is to take action. Take action. Do something. Get in the field. All of these things have helped me tremendously to stop self-sabotaging myself and have helped me to be more diligent and vigilant in my success, in my future, and in obtaining my goals. So I hope these tips have helped you as well. Y'all know what to do. Comment below. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on all other social media platforms. I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.